What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Blerdimension. Today, we're going to briefly talk about our Halo Infinite impressions. We have a condensed group of the squad today simply because of the whole selection process, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But we have AJ, Naslinja.
What's going on, everybody?
We have Carl, KBH.
What's up?
And myself, Not Cirque. So let's talk about Halo Infinite. We just wrapped up. So today is Tuesday. The preview was from Thursday to Monday morning, I believe. So we got a chance to play. I think most of us played on Thursday night, Friday for sure.
Friday morning.
Friday morning.
For me. Like in
Yeah.
the a.m. Like before the sun woke up, we were up playing Halo.
Yeah.
Pay for that big time.
Oh man, yeah, definitely. So let's talk about this whole like selection process. I mean, it was kind of they weren't clear. They just told you to make sure your profile is updated. If you had all the green check marks, that means you're supposed to get in there. But some people that did have the green check marks didn't. Let's talk about this selection process. This thing kind of sucked, right?
Hey, for me it was perfect. I got selected immediately. I felt special. I was the first one to get an email out of the group, and I was rooting for Creston until I didn't think he got in. And then I was like, I don't want him to get in because now I feel even more special. Like the less people get in the group, the more special I feel. So I felt special. I felt good. But okay, if we're gonna be like honest about the selection process. Like, okay, so you get the initial email, you're like, oh shoot, I've been selected, right? But you don't. There's no instructions. They're just like you're one of those people. So now you're waiting for possibly another email or for like something to happen on your Xbox. You have no idea. You assume it's going to be another email because that would be really like intrusive if they just like turned on your Xbox and be like, it's on there now, right?
Like
So you're
what
like,
like Apple did with what was that album that they just downloaded on your
oh, the
iPhone?
YouTube album.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
They
So
always try
yeah,
to give you YouTube stuff.
hey, they paid Bono a lot of money, or Bono actually was like invested in Apple or something. Like he made $1 billion off of them. But we're talking about Halo. So anyway, so you get the email and you're thinking, yeah, I'm gonna be in the game, but I don't really know how I'm gonna be in the game. So I was just like waiting, literally. I was refreshing my email all Thursday. I pretty much like I'm glad that I don't have like any major projects at work because I was completely distracted by just literally refreshing my email. All I
Yeah,
did
me
is
too.
just refresh it the whole day and nothing happened. Nothing. So
Yeah.
so so nothing happened. I checked in with Carl because he got his email like shortly after I got mine. So we're both like, yeah, we're awesome, right? Obviously, they saw something in us, right? So,
I
so,
think
so
I seriously think it has something to do with the region because you all got it and we didn't. So I'm sure that there was like
people in
some
your region
data.
who just missed it because there was
Yeah,
some
some data center distributed the emails to y'all's
or
region or
or the ISPs didn't trust the email source, so they just
yeah,
blocked
something.
it or something like that.
Cuz
Like,
both of y'all got Comcast, right?
yeah,
I think they saw the quality of our characters. I think
yes, I think it was
really.
character quality.
All right,
But
we'll go with that.
so we're sitting there. So I called Carl like afterwards, and we pretty much stay up the rest of the night like googling, trying to figure out like how are we gonna like how's this even gonna work. Eventually, around 1 a.m., I'm like, Carl, I have to
I
go
got
to
to
sleep.
tap out. Yeah.
My entire body will not survive this. And maybe that's what the brain fog on Sunday was for me.
I think
Is
so. Yeah.
is staying up for 2 days straight trying to play Halo Infinite. But
Yeah.
so Carl, I think you got in that night, right? I mean, you got in. You didn't go to sleep until you got in, right?
So I was like, okay, I got to get some kind of Halo out of this. So I started playing Infinite, and then
No, five.
not yeah, fine, my bad. And because and then I was like, I'm having fun, and I'm like, I quit on it pretty much. And then here goes this non-email receiving
I
dude.
email recipient.
I'm in here on PC. I'm like, what? You in what? Immediately
Honestly,
got out of
I
Halo
thought he was
5.
trolling me when I woke up and saw that in the Discord. I was like, he ain't get in. He ain't get no email. He ain't get in. No way. And so I clicked on the link, his Twitch link. Let me see this footage so I can see somebody else's gamer tag. I was staring at the gamer tag like, let me see if that's not certain. I didn't get in and I got the email.
Hey, this is
Oh,
when being a
terrible.
PC gamer, this is when it pays dividends. I'm telling you.
Trash, man. I was special. I was special for a whole Thursday.
But it was so confusing because it's like because I didn't get the email at all. I didn't get any type of love. I didn't get like it was no notification, no nothing. And I felt a certain way because I definitely participated in some flights for MCC, and also I well let's think about it like this. Like the first like 3 years of Halo MCC was basically a flight. I mean, that game was so broken. I mean, come on now. Like,
So much data off of you alone. It's like you were probably playing bots like for the first year
I
of
wouldn't
Halo
be
MCC.
surprised. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. Like,
That's how they trained you.
I was so, I was in the trenches. When I was saying I was suffering for the Halo community, I was suffering. Like, it was bad. And so I was like, for sure, like, I know, like, they can look at my telemetry and be like, oh, yeah, like, he's been ride or die. Like, even, throughout the whole, Halo 5 days and all of that. Like, all of that stuff. I was there. So I was anticipating getting like not just an email but a special email, just be like, yo, like, thank you for all your support. Here is a present from us 343. We want to just thank you for all the years of champion our game, and even though it's not as popular, but like, here is a special invitation. Like, it will come in a golden email. Like, that's what I was waiting for. I felt like they should have rolled out the red carpet for me.
Hey man, until I got selected, I was rooting for you. And then as soon as I got selected,
Avatar hoodie.
Dog,
Hoodie
dog.
for your avatar.
Honestly, dog, I thought I was like, I was like, I'm guaranteed to be in here. I gotta be. I didn't get that email. I was definitely salty throughout that whole day. I even told Nicole. I was just like, yo, like, we went to dinner that night. I told her, I was just like, yo, like, I'm salty right now. I didn't get an email from fucking Halo. Like, and she knows I'm a big Halo fan. She's like, oh, really? And it was just like, yeah, like, I'm not getting any type of love. I'm a little salty. So I had to, I had to drown my sorrows in some tres leches, which was fucking delicious. Um, and then I went back home, and I think we started playing Halo 5, Yumi and JK.
Okay.
And something told me to like just check Halo Waypoint, and I checked on there. Sure enough, like on the profile, like when I looked at my insider profile, it had like it basically gave me a Steam key for, I didn't know it wasn't clear. Like, it just gave me a Steam key. So I was like, let me just put that in there and see what happens. So I fired up Steam, put the code in there, and then I seen on the screen Halo Infinite Insider. And I was like, nah, they fucking with me. And then I saw the percent, I saw like the size of the files. I was like, this was like 16 gigs. I was like, okay, this must be something.
this can't just be a demo video. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Can't just be an information packet.
Exactly. And then once I downloaded it, got it going, fired it up, I was like, okay, loading the screen. Okay. It's like I wasn't sold until I actually got into a game. And then proceeded to get in the game with the bots and started playing. I was like, oh shit, like, I'm in here. Like, I thought that I was getting left out. I thought I was getting, like, I was seriously gonna like be on a tweet storm that rest of the evening and just like shitting on 343 and just be like, fuck it, I'm selling my series and this, and like, I was gonna like pull out the big stops and be like, yo, like, I am a disgruntled Halo fan. Like, I've sacrificed so many hours, and I'm be honest. Like I felt like I should be there. I should be there. And yeah, once I didn't get those emails, I was really salty. But once I got the Steam key, and then subsequently got the Insider Hub on Xbox, and then that started working, I was like, all right,
Hmm.
bet. So yeah, they didn't make a mistake. So
And like I said, I was rooting for you up until I got an email, and then I was like, no one else should get an email, so I can feel really special. Like no one else, so I'm the only one playing Halo this weekend. I don't know what it just you turn on people so quick when stuff like this happens.
I
Like
know it's like
they made
remember you being like
community,
a kid, like when like your siblings will like get something, you didn't get anything, and then like
yeah,
when you finally get it, you're like, oh, like you
yeah.
feel so much better.
You gotta like hoard it from them or eat it in front of them. Be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
you rub it in their face.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. I think I even told Carl, I was like, I said, if anybody deserves to get this email, I was like, it's Kristen. He did the whole Master Chief Collection thing. He needs to get this email. And when I got it, I was like, shut it down. Nobody else.
Nobody,
Shut it
no,
down. I
nobody
got an email.
else.
I
Yeah,
see. I was the exact opposite of that. I wanted everybody to get it because I'm like, that's just gonna be more fun. Even if we can't like go up against each other, like it's just gonna be more fun for everybody to be in here.
yeah. When I saw
But
that,
AJ wanted that exclusivity.
I know.
Absolutely. I want to be the only one in the club. Just walking in the club, the DJ just calls out
That's
my name, and then they close the door right behind me.
AJ.
The
That's just
music's
not
for
a
me. The
that's not a
music's
good
for me.
club atmosphere.
The-
One person at the club is not sexy.
it's for me.
Yeah,
Look, it's all for me. I don't understand what you guys don't get. Like exclusivity, that's what we all want. Isn't that what we all want? Like we all
No,
wanted to be. But did you
no,
want everybody to be able to play the Halo Infinite beta?
yes.
No,
As
you
long
just
as
wanted Blerdimension, right? You don't want the rest of these people.
what am I gonna get out of it? I'm trying
If
to.
but you're not going to be playing those people anyway. We're shooting bots.
No, but the promise was Sunday, and before I wrecked my
Oh yeah,
body,
yeah,
I
yeah,
would have been playing them on Sunday.
yeah.
But I wrecked my body, so
Yeah, they wrecked our bodies by telling us
all
things were
this
gonna happen.
anxious, anxiety driven FOMO. It was all driven by FOMO.
Yeah,
Like
mhm.
I honestly would have felt like I would have been like I would have been super salty just by like being on the sidelines. Like
I would have had so much fun like talking trash about all the people who got in. So I think I'd have been cool either way. But once I got in, obviously,
it's like yeah.
I immediately changed on everybody. I was a good humble person, and I got in. I was like, it's just me. I don't know. Maybe y'all need to figure out what y'all are doing on Halo wrong, because
Hey, I was right there with you until I got in there. I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. I don't know about y'all. I'm good. It really brought out like the primal, like the
yeah, that's scarcity, survival of the fittest.
yeah.
You guys are jerks. I think that's just what it confirms. Like, like, I'm not playing survival with none of you mofos, man.
It was definitely nerve wracking. I hope that whole process is a little better going forward. At least more clear as to like
The
uh
launch should be silky smooth after this. They better learn all their lessons.
Well,
I don't
look,
think it will be.
what's the
That's the
biggest
thing.
thing? The biggest thing that they had an issue with is they weren't ready for the amount of interest. Like they weren't ready for
But they were just
all of
like
these.
Doesn't make
but
any
that's
sense.
yeah, cuz they like
Everybody's
they
hitting
were
the server at
telling
the same time. Like like Waypoint didn't even work until Friday, like early, like late morning, like almost noon. That's when Waypoint you can get on. You can see your messages again. The messages were up to date. They weren't like from the past or something like 2 months ago was the only message in there or something like that. And it didn't like the page didn't break when you clicked on your messages to actually view them. Like everything worked at around noon because people weren't looking anymore. So it was
See?
like they had no idea that it's like you would imagine, Microsoft has Azure. I'm not saying Azure's awesome, but it's still a platform that kind of spins up, doesn't it spin up its own like new servers and stuff like that every time it like reaches a certain amount, like
They clearly
a
don't do that. So
on the server, or like
that, that's an argument from microservice architecture because pretty sure Halo Waypoint is a monolith. Like maybe a few things are broken out. So like if you go to so notifications seem to have, at least at certain points, higher performance than the messages, right? Because everybody was expecting to go to messages to see whether they're in or not and all that. So, maybe that's a different instance than the messages thing, but I don't think that website is as broken up as it should be. Certainly, authentication, whatever they're doing with that, that was a no bueno. Like, I couldn't even authenticate. That thing was just choking. I'm like, sign in,
no,
spins for like 10 minutes and then dies.
absolutely. Sign it. You couldn't at the height of it. The problem was they were late, right? They were, first of all, they were late.
Yeah,
They
it was delayed for what,
they
3 hours?
3 or 4 hours. So they were super late. So if you're on the East Coast, it's nighttime now before they even start. And I was following it on Twitter and in my Google News feed. So I was reading articles about it. I was trying to figure out how I get into these games. And then finally I started seeing people say on Twitter, I'm in. So I was like, okay, now it's rolling out. So I was expecting, all right, they're in. 45 minutes to an hour from now, I'll be in. And it was like 5 hours later. Actually, I just woke up at like 4 o'clock and turned on my Xbox. And that's when I started downloading it and getting ready to play. Like,
Mm.
Like, yeah, like 3 o'clock was supposed to be the time. So if it's 4 hours later, people are already home, ate dinner, and was about to make an event out of this thing. They were already supposed to be playing. So there's no distractions anymore. Like, I probably would have put the kids early to bed, whatever it is. So like you have people's undivided attention by the time you just started rolling it out versus, okay, some people will be at work, you don't get that heavy load right away, and then you could slowly ramp up. So yeah, that was not great.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, they had a set number of people that they expected to hit, all of their services, um, which is weird. I mean, and then on top of that, like, they were encouraging people, to sign up for the Halo Insider program. Like, this thing was very, unless you were like big into Halo, you had no idea what this program was. And so there was just like a mass campaign of people to be like, yo, like, make sure you sign up so you can get access and blah blah blah. But they just weren't clear. So like, all right, here's the people that are gonna get in this flight, and here's, they didn't say like, oh, you need to be part of this program, you need to be in part of this program for, a year or whatever. Like, there was none of that stuff was there. It was just like, okay, make sure your profile is updated, and you may be selected. And it's like, dog, like, come on now, like, you
I
can't be
think
playing with people's anxiety like that.
they didn't expect that many people to be interested. That's what it seems. That's what it feels like, which is
That
crazy
doesn't make
because
any sense.
it's the number one
Never
Halo.
been
It's
that.
the number one Xbox game, right? Like it's their flagship. So, but it seemed like they didn't expect it because they were the ones saying, like you said, they were the ones saying, everybody get your Halo Insider, get finish your profiles out, right? Make sure you get all the information about the system you use or the PC and the PC you use, and like graphics card specifics and like all kinds of stuff they wanted about your PC and all the systems that you play Halo on, right? If you own multiple systems, are you playing Halo on all those systems? They wanted all that information so that they could basically, I guess that's how they were going to pick. They're like, all right, how can we get I assume they're saying, okay, this person has it on all this. We can get a lot of test data if they use all the platforms,
Yeah.
right? But it seems like they didn't think they were going to get as much engagement, which is crazy to me. I think I agree with you. They should have said something like, hey, how long have you been in Halo Insider? Okay, you're gonna people who've been Halo Insiders for this long are gonna get in this time. And you new people sign up now, and then the next flight you'll get in. But
Yeah, I mean, it would save. It would honestly would have saved people, time and energy, even like checking this shit. Like just like keep it. You know what I'm saying? Like let people know. It's like, yo, like it's a weekend. Like I could make plans if I don't get in this shit. Like if I could, get on with my life. But it was just kind of, I don't know. It just kind of came off as like just I don't know. It was just very, it wasn't clear, and I didn't. I think that
Yeah,
stuff like this, they need to be a little bit more clear so people can just get on with their lives.
yeah, exactly. Like you said, there, it's like somebody told you, "Hey, I'm coming over later," right? And so you basically don't do anything else for the rest of the day because you're like, "Blah blah's coming over," right? So I don't want to
It's
be
like
gone when they show up. And then they're
yeah,
like, and they don't tell you what time. They're just like, "Yeah, I'm coming over later. I'll be over there soon." And then soon keeps stretching and stretching and stretching.
exactly,
You're like, I could have done so many things with these
exactly. I
hours
was,
you
yep,
reserved.
waiting
And
for
so,
your ass. Yeah. So, I think that I don't know when they'll probably do like monthly flights because I'm sure that they're sifting through all of this like data that they gathered over the weekend right now. They're probably gonna take them a few weeks to kind of crunch all of that stuff and then prepare for the next flight, which hopefully will be next month. And hopefully we're grandfathered in there. Like
yeah,
we don't have to go through that anxiety again. Because goddamn,
hey, and delete the
I didn't
beta.
either. I didn't
Well,
either.
send me an update.
Absolutely not.
Don't
Yeah,
even worry about
It's like
me having to install like a new build. Just
I
send a
definitely tried to log in yesterday too.
yeah, me too.
I tried a couple, oh, you're not authorized. I'm like, let me make sure. Try that a few times because they
Yeah,
hit me. They hit me with that on Friday and Saturday. I'm like, don't play with me. And then I come back in and then it would work. So
yeah. So, but okay, so we were all selected. Congrats for us. Half
yeah,
half of the squad was in there.
yeah.
Half
The,
unfortunately had to watch from the
the better half
sidelines.
of the squad, the better half of the
well,
squad
I mean, they
was
clearly made
selected.
the right decision.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
give
They
them
I
got
think so too. I have to agree.
the top three squad members by popular approval and polls that we've done.
Um,
Yeah, we
very
got it.
scientific as well.
Absolutely, yeah. It's there's all kinds of metrics to prove why we're the top three.
Absolutely. So we booted up the game. We are now in the game, and we're experiencing the UI. What did you all think of the new UI? Was it clear? Was it did it work? What are some thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely not for me. So, like, the look of it was pleasant, but you can't put too much stock in that because at least in previous betas, so this was a tech preview, but in previous betas, the UI looked very different than the final product. The only time that wasn't the case, I think, was Reach. Reach looked pretty close to what the final game looked like. Um,
I think Reach had the best UI out of all of them.
yes, absolutely. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
look at that classic UI. Like that shit
Yeah, it was on
is
point.
really good.
And
It was
I
always clear.
absolutely don't remember what Reach's UI looks like. I still got the disc. I got the disc downstairs, and I don't remember what the.
God bless you in these discs. I think
Hey,
I might have the disc too, but
I
like
got
I don't
Reach
mess with that.
downstairs, but I don't remember the UI for Reach. I don't play it often, so I'm not a Master Chief Collection guy like Creston.
Well, even on MCC, they didn't bring the UI from Reach, and they just kind of put Reach into the whole uniform UI
Right.
of the MCC. So,
It
but
was a late edition too, though, right?
yeah, yep. It was was it the last one? I think so. It was the last one to be added. It was because they did ODST.
Because technically it's not Master Chief, right? So
Yeah,
Right.
why it wasn't there originally? But they're
yeah.
like,
Just
screw
like
it,
fuck
just
it.
put
Let's
all the
put
Halo stuff.
everything. Absolutely. because they needed to make amends for the sins that they committed.
They overcorrected though, because now we're not getting nothing for five. But that's another topic.
Man, that's another podcast
But
entirely.
I think they're gonna
but
put
like
five on there. Maybe not. Maybe not next year. I think 2023 they'll probably put five
that's
on
the only
there.
way it gets blessed is if it goes to MCC. It's not gonna get blessed on its own.
Nah.
No,
And I
no,
think honestly, I think the PC people will really like five because of the movement. I think the stuff that you'll probably be able to do with mouse and keyboard. I mean, this is stuff that I'm able to do with the Elite controller on five. Is I think it's going to get a second life. I'm confident that people are going to realize like five was actually pretty good.
I'll be right there. Just with my
Shaming
people.
everybody.
No, with my tribe. That's my tribe. The 5 people on my tribe. These other people, these other Master Chief Collection. Anyway, Carl, you were saying about the UI.
Yeah, so a combination of there was some bugginess, but like I was confused as to what the heck I was supposed to press.
Hmm.
Even at the end where it started to be smoother, like when I pressed stuff, things was happening. I was just doing stuff based on like muscle memory and faith.
And
Like it's
instinct.
still, yeah, like it just didn't really, like I didn't really understand what I was doing to get into a game.
Hmm.
I just got in. I'm like, okay, I'm in the game. I'm playing now. But like that UI, so hopefully that's not what's gonna be the end. Like they tweak that a little bit or change it altogether. So yeah, that was not a smooth experience for me at all.
Right. So I'd have to agree in terms of like navigating. Um, just not intuitive. I don't think. And we're all kind of like developers here, so we kind of know there's certain things that just have to that you kind of have to you have to allow someone like at least some kind of like give them a sense of how your UI works, right? Like so you don't necessarily have to give me tooltips every time I move move over something or whatever, but like give me a sense of how the UI works. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me when I first got in the game, the first thing I did was go to the academy because that was the thing I was most interested in. I knew that the battle stuff was just going to be Halo, like it's gonna be Halo. Like in fact, it's gonna be more Halo than Halo 5, right? Because the other Halos are more similar to Halo Infinite than Halo 5 is to all the other Halos. Just because, like you said, the movement is so much
Hmm.
different in 5. So I was like, okay, I know what that's gonna be like. I want to see this training thing because I suck at shooters. That's common. Everybody knows that in the group. I suck at shooters. So I'm like a place where I can just shoot bots and like work on just dexterity. My thumbs is that's like the dream. I was literally like looking into making a Unity game that just trained me to shoot just random things so I could build up the muscle dexterity because like that's part of it. Like even if people don't even think about it, they're like that's the reason why these quick twitch gamers, these guys who've been playing like on PC have like they're a little bit more twitchy with the way that they play, even when they have a controller in their hands from that kind of training, that muscle memory. So I went to the academy and I was, trying to use all the weapons. And for the most part, yeah, I can get in and out of a weapon. It wasn't that bad. But well, you don't win, but after you finish a drill, it goes to another screen that shows you your score, shows you whether that score, is good enough to get, there's a 3-star rating system. It shows you where you are on that 3-star rating system based on your score. But the next thing to do after you see that screen isn't entirely clear. Now, if you pay close attention and you're not just like trying to, we're so used to technology now, like we're so used to knowing what to do, even if it's a brand new app, right? We get on
Mm-hmm.
it and we kind of just feel
There's a
it's not us,
language. There's a
right?
language that we all understand.
Right, right. And it's not us. We think it's us because that's how good UI UX designers are. It's
Yeah.
like we think it's us. We like, yeah, this makes sense. It's intuitive, right? But no, they designed it to be intuitive, right? And I don't think that I didn't get that feel from that screen. So I'm on the screen, it shows me my score, and now I either want to jump right back into the game and try to, beat that because it wasn't good enough in my opinion, or I want to you go to the same gun and then go to the next exercise on that gun, or I want to get out entirely. So getting out entirely, easy, right? It shows you at the bottom. It says press B, you're out. All right. Restarting is easy. Press Y. But going back to that gun menu was hard because it was like I didn't realize that all I had to do was press A because it was on. There was like it wasn't a button. It didn't look like a button. It didn't look like a menu item either because there wasn't a list of items. There wasn't other things to select. There was just basically like a box at the bottom with the words uh basically like I forgot the words exactly because it wasn't like I said it wasn't memorable because it didn't really
Mm-hmm.
feel like UI, but basically it sent you back to the gun you were the specific gun you were using so that you can pick the next exercise. But I didn't realize that I was just pressing B, going back to the main menu, going back to the gun, like for the first few times because I wasn't like I was like, okay, what's next? Well, I want to do I maxed this one out. All right, I got 3 stars. I want to go to the next level of this gun, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll just press B, exit out, and go. I was like, this is a beta. Maybe they haven't finished all of the. And then I kind of like read, which is something we don't really do. UI UX is trained us not to. It's trained us to feel, not to actually pay attention. I read it was like, oh, if I press this, I'll go back to the actual gun menu so that I
And that's
can look.
exactly why I fail, because I'm not doing any of that reading.
Right, like, and none of us want to. Like, we've been trained, like Kristen said, it's a language already. UI
Yeah.
UX is a language already. So reading is like the only time I want to read involving UI UX is if I'm on a site with articles. UI UX is still important in that site, but the articles are the reason I'm there. So I'm gonna read while I'm there. But you can still mess that up, right? You can still mess up the UI UX on an art on a page that's just reading. So it's like it's really important feature that nobody even pays attention to. We think it's like you said, we think we're just smart. We think we're looking at a page and we're like, yeah, I can navigate through here, but no, because things don't have to be designed with logic, right? And whose
Yeah.
logic, right? For some people, that might have been intuitive. For me, it was not. Like maybe in some country, in another country, a lot of applications are built that way. That makes perfect sense to them. But here in AJ land, that made no
I,
sense. So
I feel like right to left language countries probably had a better time. That's how
uh,
I felt. It felt completely inverted to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
kind of weird.
I think that so one of my big complaints was kind of like the end screen and like the player recap, uh kind of like seeing the box score. It was
Yes.
it was like it was still it was like it was trying to show you. It was like, okay, like I understand what I did, but like let me see what the rest of the people did,
yeah,
like
it was
like,
just giving you data on you, like you miss your accuracy.
yeah.
Your
And even
yeah,
when you brought up the scoreboard, like it would still like pop up, your stuff first, and then there was like the basically the shoulder buttons where you can go to like the team stuff. But it was like I don't, that doesn't make sense to me. It's like, just if I say I want to look at the scoreboard, I just want to look at, the
We're used to
the
the
team
carnage
stuff.
report.
Yeah,
yeah.
Give
Me,
like the
give me
cards
the
report is straightforward. Like I
give me
feel
the
like,
leaderboard, right?
yeah. um and so, and to be honest, like five is not as, I mean, five is, we're used to it. We've been playing the game for what, 6 years now, so I mean we're
Yeah.
used to it. But that one is also had that same
Yo,
problem.
that's almost the entire life of my daughter. Holy crap. That's older than my second daughter. Wow.
Duh, that's crazy.
Halo is like the middle
Wow.
child in your family.
Yes.
That's crazy.
The time investment. Wow. That just dawned on me.
Yeah, I remember. Shit, we were all playing that first few months it first came out. And it came out right. It was like right in between. It was right when was starting to look for a place, and then I remember distinctly moving in, and then like I had my bedroom set up, and then the guest bedroom set up, and then that was like the TV room, and that's where we were playing like Halo 5 and shit, and that's 2015. Like
Good gracious.
I still remember that shit. But yeah, no, that was annoying, and the other thing that was really annoying was the fact that I wasn't able to customize my Spartan inside of the game menu. So you know how like five, you can just pop to customize like your Spartan when you're waiting to be match made.
Right.
Yeah, nah, this train you had to go all the way back out, and I'm sure that
Yo,
yeah, you
it's
had to go all the way back out because it was like, dog, like I don't want to spend time like customize. Like if I'm gonna spend time customizing my Spartan, I want to do that, while I'm waiting to jump into the next game. Like I don't want to do that exclusively. I'm gonna like actually spend time doing that. So the whole time, my Spartan was fucking default as hell.
man,
Absolutely.
I tried to customize my Spartan and I couldn't figure it out. Like once again,
Exact
felt
that
felt like a
too.
dummy. I
Yeah,
went in there, I hit the equip button, I got the little checkbox that says, okay, you equip this armor, right? I press B, I get out of the menu, I'm gray again. Okay, I'm like, okay, so maybe I press B, that's
I
canceling it. But
did
it
the
didn't tell me
same thing.
didn't tell
I
me I
did the
was
same
canceling it.
thing.
So I went
yep.
in and I was like, do I press start? I pressed all the buttons, and for some reason, I never cut. So eventually, I was just like, they don't want me to be anything other than gray. And you know what? I don't care
I
that
don't
much.
care. Yeah,
I think no, what
exactly.
it was, I think you had to long press on A. So normally you just tap in, then you
Oh,
hit.
right. It's
You
almost
gotta
like
long
buying
press
things or
it,
whatever. Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, you really select. I'm like, dude, like
It,
I literally messed around for like 5 minutes just to figure that.
yeah.
I'm like, I know I'm not that dumb.
I
Like,
felt I felt real dumb.
let me get this armor, and I was like, oh, they want me to long press because I'm like, I didn't get that green highlight, but I'm like, I must have. I pressed the button. But then I finally got it. So I customized something, but I didn't get to change no
Hey
colors. I never
man,
figured
I
out the
didn't.
color stuff.
I was trying to switch my AI up
I
to
did get to switch up my AI.
something cool. Nothing. I was like, okay, equip, right? It got the little checkbox. I was like, okay, checkbox, checked, right? That means equipped, right? No, not for
Mm-mm.
me. And I was like, so
No.
it wasn't intuitive in that sense. Like to me, like I was just confused. Like, and of course, like Carl, I don't want to read anything, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
I feel the same way.
my eyes are scanning words all day.
I do
At the
not that's one of the things that a lot of these games are trying to do these days is that they just throw all this information at you. Call of Duty is very notorious for that. Like they just
yeah, it's
throw all
busy.
these splash screens at you, and I'm just like,
It's a busy game.
I just want to get into a game and just shoot something.
Yeah,
Like
and then when I want to change my armor, just let me when I click A, let that be the choice. This isn't like purchasing, like something on Amazon where like give me a couple clicks just in case I made a mistake. Like this isn't like Amazon. This is just Halo armor. If I don't like it, I'm like, oh, that wasn't what I wanted. I'll just go back into the menu and take it off.
Change it. Yeah.
yeah.
But for some reason there's like a secondary process of selecting that I was just like, my brain is, first of all, if I didn't realize how much damage staying up those 2 days had done to me until Sunday,
No,
but
man. They came over from the Windows team. That's all that was.
it was awful in that sense. I don't know if you guys also had this issue, but in game when you're in like an actual match, when you hit the what's the menu on the side, the one that basically is the select button. I don't know what the technical term for that Xbox button is, but the one that's the select button that shows you your score while you're in game.
Mhm.
That
um
took me a little minute to figure out too.
when I did that, it just stays on the screen. Like it's a
Uh
remember like in 5, you click it real quick, it shows you, okay, I need 3 more points so that I'm, my KD is,
And it
even
fades
at
out.
least, right? And then it fades away after you let go of it. And this one, it's just like, nope, this is what you're looking at. You can't see anything else but your score the whole time in game. You're getting shot up trying to
And you
find
and
out.
you can't shoot, right?
You
So
can't do anything, right? It takes away
yeah.
all your abilities too. You're just you can walk, you can move, but you can't shoot. You can't do anything with that screen up other than look at your score and move.
Mm.
So
so what got me with that though was like when I just died is when I'd pull it up. And then
yes,
it would
right,
fade out and
and
then
then
come
come
back
back
with the whole
when you
thing on there.
respawn.
And I'm like,
Yes,
what is going on? At first I was like, is the game over? And I was just standing there. I'm like, no. Nah, I'm like, I'm getting shot again. Like
that's a habit for me out of 5. I made that habit in 5 where like I'm like, okay, I don't want to lose to everybody on the map, so I got to make sure I'm the at least the second worst person, not the worst person. So I'm point watching. Kristen, you don't even know anything about this, but the rest of us are watching to see so that we're not the last loser, right?
yes.
Hey,
So
I point watch. I try to see where I'm sitting at.
So yeah, so I do that every time I like Carl. This it's common for me to do that when I die to see, okay, where's my KD at? Am I really sucking, or am I kind of sucking? Like, or am I doing all right? So I usually hit the menu button dying, and the same thing happened to me. That happened to Carl. Like you pop up and you're like, why is this thing up? And because that's muscle memory for me. Like you said, we've been playing Halo 5 for 6 years. So that's 6 years of muscle memory. And so
Yeah,
I did
I
it
was
off and on throughout just playing because I'm
pressing the
thinking in
B
my
button
head,
a lot.
oh yeah, absolutely. Getting out like too far out there because you have the confidence to like I can just get back to safety.
Yeah, nope.
And then like being stuck in the middle and just getting shot up, like set it off.
Because I can't thrust. I'm like, oh, let me come out here, but I'm just gonna thrust.
Yeah, you just
Nope.
you
Nope.
you you check out the scene real quick. You're like, oh shoot, there's a lot of them, and then you thrust back, and then you can like prepare, like get ready to throw some grenades or whatever. I would get all the way out there and be like, oh, just
Yeah. So I think we all agree definitely the UI needs some work. I think think we're gonna see some improvements in that space. Um, okay, so we finally figured out the UI. We figured out where we needed to go. Let's talk about like that first game feel. Like how did everything feel? How did what was the first like initial reaction when you first like fired up that got match made in that first bot game?
Uh, I was underwhelmed the first game. Uh, I heard a British accent, the announcer. Like, I usually like British things, but for some reason that put me off.
I don't. I don't like
I was
British.
expecting to hear Slayer,
And
right? I
so
didn't hear Slayer. I heard, I can't even do it, but
you could
like,
do it. You could definitely do the accent, but still,
I
don't.
can, but I don't want to because I don't remember the words he used. I was just very annoyed, but I later figured out that's tied to your AI.
Hmm.
So when I tailored my AI, I'm like, okay, it's still not that awesome, but at least it's not that guy.
But what's gonna happen is they're gonna sell you AI, Carl, and you're gonna get to buy the
Absolutely.
one you love. So
Absolutely.
they put that annoying British guy there just for you, so
I
they know
have
They say
that.
I have
upsell you.
multiple middle fingers for those people.
So, but
I
yeah,
know.
so yeah, I had to watch a bunch of like Halo 5 like reviews, not Halo 5, Halo Infinite reviews, to like hear the other AIs and stuff. Because I was like, well, I could never equip one, so I would like to know what they sound like. And they were pretty entertaining in terms of
The little
like so
quips that they
they
would
had,
make.
yeah, they had like different personalities. So one of them's like kill everything, right? Like
Yeah,
that's his
yeah,
personality. And then there's some that are just like go out there and have fun, kind of like thing. And it's cool to see like the obviously you're gonna have a bunch more. And if there is a place where I spend money, it probably will be on an AI because I think they sound cool. Right? And it's more. I think that's more involved to me than what my armor looks like because I'm not looking at my armor in game while I'm playing. I'm looking at my
yeah,
armor when I die. I'm looking at my armor at the beginning of a match, at the end of a match, while I'm waiting to get into a match. But like, for me, customizing armor was cool. Like I still do it in 5. Like when I get a rec pack, I look through it. I'm like, oh, I'll
yeah. I
change to
always
this
equip
armor.
a new armor. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
new armor.
yeah. So I mean, I'm cool with like changing up, but it's not as big of a deal to me as they're obviously selling.
Yeah,
But as far as like getting in game for me, I think the my first match, I guess I expected the pistol to be like 5. So I'm running around with the pistol, just getting lit up with the assault rifle because like the pistol, you
yeah,
gotta you gotta empty a clip to kill somebody now on that game almost. Like
yeah.
I
The
mean,
Yeah.
pistol, yeah, pistol is not strong. It's not a Halo 5 pistol for sure.
it's faster though,
It's
which
just, yeah, it's just trade
once
off.
I got used to the speed, I was like, okay, I can run around with the pistol.
Mm-hmm.
But in Halo 5, like 4 good shots with the pistol can kill somebody if they're accurate, right? Like
Perfect.
you can perfect the heck out of somebody with a pistol in Halo 5, and I don't even think I got a perfect with the pistol in Infinite. I
I
think
got it perfect with a BR, but never with a pistol.
I couldn't get one with the pistol. I mean, I light people up with the pistol or bots up with the pistol, but Uh, it
And
just
Halo 5 trained me to slow down with the pistol so I could be more accurate because that's more
right.
important. And with this, it's like, nah, you better pull that trigger quick.
Nah, man,
Yeah.
I emptied the clip. The good thing about the pistol though is it reloads fast. I didn't realize that when I first started playing. I went to the range thing or the academy, and that's when I learned how to use the pistol. And then when I got back in game, it was like it felt good again. But like for the first game, I was like, this pistol is weak, and
Yeah.
and I'm struggling, like getting effed
Absolutely.
up by bots right now.
And
Yeah.
I'm on a 1, so I feel like
Mhm.
I think I had like the frame rate issues at 1x. So I'm assuming some of that stuff maybe the folks on a series console didn't experience.
I had frame rate issues with the or at least I don't know if it was frame rate issues or more glitching with like the actual UI or whatever. Like the sniper on the sniper academy, like the sniper training, when I turned my look sensitivity up to like past 5 or wherever it was, like to like 6 or 7, it's it would like glitch when I went back left. So right was fine. When I go back left, it would like skip a frame.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
every time it was skip a frame, which is very distracting when you're trying to like because
Was
you're
that on the
Mm.
scoping
S?
in,
Was that
scoping
the
out.
S or X for you?
It was the X. I didn't play with the S until Sunday, and I played for like 5 minutes. Now Sunday was not a good day, so I couldn't play long. But I played on the S just to make sure. I was like that I played on both systems. Like it didn't really mean anything, but I was like I'm gonna play on both systems. So
Yeah. Yeah, I got to try it on so I would say the worst version for me was the PC one. And that's just because I didn't feel like tweaking it. Um so
mm-hmm.
I just, put it on I put it on high, and I think I put the frame rate up to 60. Cuz it was weird like when I first logged in.
You have an AMD card?
No, I have a Nvidia. Um
Okay, okay.
but
I only say that because they said there was like a driver that you should upgrade to that would make a huge performance difference.
mm,
Yeah, but it
Um,
was
I,
only for AMD.
I think it was just for AMD, so that's what I was asking.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, it was definitely I just had to tweak a lot of the settings, which was fine, but like the first game that I booted up, it was like for some reason it defaulted at 30 frames. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I went to the settings, and it was like 30. I was like, I put this shit up to like I tried to put it up to 120, but I don't think it was actually running at 120. I think it was locked at 60 or something, or capped at 60. So I'm sure that that's going to be something that they work on in the future flights. But yeah, I mean, shit. When I finally got it on the X, like that's when things were running really smooth. It actually ran really smooth on the Series S too. I played a
Pretty much
few
the same
matches
for
on
me.
there. Yeah, like the Series S was it. It did really well. It I didn't notice any real difference. But yeah, I mean, like starting up that first game, I definitely felt the weight of everything. Like everything felt a lot heavier.
Mhm.
And I really I still stand by it. But I think that this is a a mix between Reach and Halo 5. Like they took the weightiness of Reach, and they added like a layer of like movement and other like small little mechanics that they developed in 5,
Mm-hmm.
and put it in and this is what we have with Infinite. So I think it's like I said, I felt like they should have been more confident in what they had with 5. I don't think people aren't letting Halo grow the way it's supposed to as a first person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that yeah, I mean this is kind of like a good happy medium, and based on the response from people, like folks are really fucking with it. So people that haven't played Halo in years are starting to come back. So
Yeah,
so that's a good thing.
it's kind of like I hate to bring up other franchises, and it's kind of like this Star Wars thing, right? Everybody hated the prequels so much that when they found out other prequel haters were writing the new trilogy, they came back for that first movie hard. That first movie did very well in the theaters and in Rotten Tomatoes and in the audience score. Everybody loved it. To be honest, it was literally the first Star Wars movie just redone, all right, with different characters, but same plot, almost down to the scene. You could literally track when everything was going to happen. I think I did it on. I think we talked about this on another podcast or whatever. But it feels like that, where it's like uh, a community decides they hate something you did, so you really just give them what they wanted that last time. You give them that now, and then
Yeah.
they come back and they're like, "Oh, this is exactly what we wanted." But what's inevitably going to happen, in my opinion, is if you learn from the Star Wars franchise at all, is they're going to abandon you again because you can't progress.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're stuck here at just this thing over and over and over until they're done with you, and then the new hot shooter comes out, and now every innovation Halo does is going to be behind the curve instead of in front of it. They're gonna be like, oh, you guys like teleporting? Oh, well now Halo has teleporting. Hey, you guys like this was
Yeah.
XYZ. Now Halo has this. Like,
There's no
I think,
reason. There's no reason that Titanfall shouldn't be a better uh shooter in terms of like mobility and options and speed and momentum. They're like Halo should be that, because when you
yeah,
think of a super soldier, you think of like a super soldier able to have speed, strength, and all sorts
mm-hmm,
of gadgets and weaponry, right?
mm-hmm,
And Halo 5 honestly was what I've always imagined that Halo would eventually be.
mm-hmm,
Being able to, have that dexterity and speed and like that momentum and the preciseness, like all of that stuff was what I've always imagined Halo would end up being. And the backlash that it got, and even when Halo first introduced sprinting, like I mean in Reach, it was just, I was like, what do you like? What? What?
Why would you hate being able to run, especially if they're not
I was so
making you
excited
run?
by that.
They're not making. First of all, I was ecstatic about it too because
Me
I was like,
too.
I hate walking in these. Sometimes I just want to get away from these people. They're shooting me in the back, but I can't do anything but get shot. Like now I can sprint around a corner. Just give me the opportunity to regroup, get my shield back. And I was like you said, these are super soldiers, but they had to walk in lockstep, and then like freaking the back in the day when the British Army used to do that weird thing where they would be in lockstep and then just shoot over each other's shoulder and just go straight and
Shooting
like
right
this.
at each other.
Yeah, there's a reason that kind of warfare went out. Like
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
just stupid.
dumb. It
It
was
was
so
stupid.
Like,
dumb.
think about a map like in Halo 2, Halo 3 days, like Zanzibar, which is not that big, right? But if you got spawned out by the beach
Like you
and
were mad.
Oh yeah, yeah,
all
yeah.
the action is happening in the bit, like
You were
it's gonna
mad.
take you a million years to get over there.
You were
Right.
mad.
Now you
You were
sprint,
hiking.
you could be like, okay, you could be in the action pretty quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And so I think to me that's the biggest issue that with Infinite. Like you could tell, you could see it, you could hear it in all of the stuff that led up to it, all of the
Yeah.
developer, like at least you could hear we're capitulating, guys. We're gonna give you
Yeah.
everything you asked for.
I
Just
could
come
tell
back
in
to Halo.
that first like gameplay show. I was like, this looks heavy, slow. I mean, of course, heavier and slower than
Mhm.
what we're used to.
Yes.
Um, and one of the other glaring things was that like there's no more ground pound. There's no more Spartan charge. There's no more thrust. Like all of that stuff was evident
If
in that
they
first gameplay
just
trailer.
if they would have just kept thrust, I think I would have been okay.
At least
Better.
Spartan charge or even
I
ground pound. Like,
But I get why you can get rid of those two because they're almost like assassinations, which they also got rid of, by the way, right? There are no
well,
assassinations.
they said it.
not at
They're not
launch.
gonna be at launch, which is
Yeah, but
good.
that's my point. They got rid of why? Why?
Yeah.
Why is it not going to be at lunch? Because there's a lot of
Mm,
like of competitive players who hate the fact that sometimes they slip into. assassinations were making out. You can turn them off, which is I think lame. I think assassinations was part of Halo's character. Like you got to
Yeah,
let
it's
some of the
fun.
character stick in the game because if you just
Exactly. You
you
just let
can't.
that's exactly. If you start listening to these fucking pros, like they take all the fun out of shit. Like
Yeah,
these motherfuckers are playing the game. This is their job. So
yeah.
they want the game to be as boring and as balanced as possible.
So
But
that
for
they can
us,
train up on it and
yeah.
build strategies off it. But
See, because I like it because, Crest gets overzealous sometimes when to embarrass somebody, get in the animation. I'm like, he's trying to embarrass AJ over here. Let me throw a couple bombs. Let me tag him out real quick.
you know what's
Sometimes
funny
I'll even
though?
say, what?
You know what's funny though? I've never been saved once.
You're
So
right. It's
yeah.
fast acting. I'm not, I'm throwing a bomb. I'm trying to do it, but by the time he expires, so do
Look,
you.
no,
Look,
no, no. I'm just
but
saying.
they got look the attempt and the intention is there, AJ. That's what you need to
I
focus on.
respect it actually. I don't. I feel like you know what you're doing, and it has nothing to do with me. That's what I'm saying.
It has
You're not.
everything to
You're
do with you.
definitely not a hero. You could be considered an Avenger, except for the fact is I know it had nothing to do with me. Is the reason why you.
It has
The only
everything to do.
the only thing
Dog,
that
you need.
you saw me there slowing Kristen down, and you're like, yes, now I can get it.
Well, look. Sometimes these are free for all games. Let's be honest, and you see a potential free double kill
Hey,
situation.
look,
Absolutely.
that to me I respect. I respect that immensely because it's free for all. Somebody stupid enough to assassinate out in the open, they deserve to die, and also have their kill stolen. And if they don't, they're a
Yoink.
G, right? Hey, but just getting back to the point, like the character of Halo, you can't. It's almost like food, right? Like if you try to design a meal that everybody in the world is gonna like, it's gonna be like water or something.
Garbage.
It's gonna be porridge. It's gonna be something so
Yeah,
bland
that's
that
why buffets
everybody
are
can.
terrible. Like their food is always terrible.
Yeah,
It's made for like wide
mass
The
consumption.
consumption.
average.
Yeah.
Right. They don't
Average.
care. They don't care about being good. They just care about being
There's
good
no
enough.
character, there's no
Right.
soul in that food. Like there's literally just like here is
Is
chicken, here
yeah.
is gravy, here is mashed potatoes.
Right.
And just in a big ass bucket. Like it's just
Yeah. So
go eat
I
you fucking dirty human beings.
and that is my issue with Infinite. You can see it too much. You can see it too clearly. It's like this game is to appease everybody who was whining and complaining about five. And I get it. You're a business,
Yeah.
so I get why Halo would do it. It doesn't mean it didn't make the game better. Like Halo Infinite wasn't more fun to me than five. It wasn't more fun. Like was it fun?
It didn't
Yeah,
have that spectacle. Like it was
yeah.
missing that spectacle. Like it
And
kind of got back to, you know,
it
just
felt like playing combat. Well, I mean, like you said, the actual game felt more like you said, like Reach,
mhm.
but it felt more like if Combat Evolved was made now,
Yeah.
right?
That's what they're
Like,
going for. That's honestly what they're going for.
and that to me is like, okay, Combat Evolved was great, but
It's great for its time.
20
yeah,
years ago.
it was great, but yeah, can we do some? Can we get a little bit more? Uh, can we get a little bit more into the actual genre, into the actual like character stuff? Like Master Chief does all this awesome stuff in the cutscenes,
Yes,
and you can't
exactly.
do
You
any
can't do
of
any
that
of that. But
because
lets you do it, and that's the thing.
yeah,
That's why I was like, come on now, like, you know, we I've always like that. What was that Halo 3 trailer when he threw out the bubble shield and the big ass like Wraith.
the rocket,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like he was doing awesome shit. I was like, fuck, I can't wait to like, and then you play the game. It's like, oh yeah, it's not. I was like, okay, but like a few years later, like we're going to be able to do this. And then, time, ticked on, and then we had 5, and 5 came out, and, was like doing awesome shit. Like shit that you can, that when you thought of being a fucking Spartan, that you were empowered to do that, and people are like, this isn't Halo, and this is, and I was like, this, and so this is like you said, that this Halo Infinite is a result of people them trying to um take out all of this stuff that the flavor that I think 343 was trying to add to Halo.
Mhm.
Because I think a lot of the people that work there, of course they grew up on Halo, so I'm sure that they had that same imagination of like being a fucking Spartan. Was like, yo, like let's like we have all this technology now. We see the landscape of first person shooters. We're seeing like what everybody else is being able to do. We're Halo. Let's do this shit. Let's like embrace being a super soldier.
Mhm.
And people were
With this
just
advanced armor on as well. Like
exactly.
he's getting this upgraded armor, and to be honest, the upgraded armor is just for the is just kind of like lore. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the actual gameplay. So finally, when they in five, when they upgrade the armor, right, it's more than cosmetic for the first time. uh it's like, no, you're actually darting around. You got a burst, you got this Spartan charge thing, which is just fun. Spartan charging was just fun,
It's just
right?
fun.
Ground
Yeah.
pound was just fun, right? So it's like those elements were just fun. And if they had gotten rid of those because they're like, okay, we want to kind of back off of like that's a little bit too campy, maybe we don't want it anymore. The boost though itself, it just makes sense for this giant metal. Master Chief is 7 foot one, half a ton. He's like 1,000 pounds, 7 foot, and
It's like a mini. He's a mini, basically almost like a mini mech in a way.
yeah, he's exactly. And now you're like, no, but he can't have rockets. That's preposterous. He's already 7 foot, 1,000 pounds. We're past that. We can suspend our disbelief and just say,
Yeah.
oh, let's throw some thrusters on his suit, right? Like let's throw
At the
some.
very least, because I could think of some other crazy shit. Like I'm like, this motherfucker should be having like little rockets coming out of it. Like he should be Iron Man, basically. He
Yeah,
should be, right?
which is why like as much as I loved playing, like five was fun. Like I'm not five. Infinite was fun, right? Or infinite, right? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
thinking infinity because I'm thinking we were talking about a different game before the stream. Uh, but it was fun, right? But it just to me seemed slower
Yeah.
because and so like now Spartans look a lot clumsier. And like the cool things you can do, like we're like throwing a bomb at a thing and then catching it and then hitting people and killing stuff with weapons. That's cool, but what that really shows me is that like the Halo trick shot people won. Like the people who were playing the older Halo games and they were playing them so much they were just doing all this. Like if you ever watched that Blitz guy that I was showing you or talking to you guys about before
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
stream, like all he does is trick shots. But most of those trick shots are in the older Halo games, right? He's playing the older ones, and he's obviously one of those Halo. Let's get back to the
Purist.
good old days of Halo kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, man, this game could be super fun. I just wish if I had enough money, I would have been like, look, I see which direction you guys are headed, and can we just diverge here and make like a Halo Infinite uh um what you call it, like retro and a Halo Infinite, like can we
Yeah.
make two versions of it so that like I can have my Spartan abilities in one section of Halo Infinite, and you can play as Master Chief and his slow behind and like the older Halos, and I can be the newer Spartans in this other version of Halo Infinite, because like I just don't. I think we're probably if we keep five in the rotation, I'll be fine with like Blerdimension playing five every once in a while, like we do Master Chief Collection.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hate playing Master Chief Collection because I hate all the old Halos. Like I hate them all. Like I
How
don't
dare
love
you?
any of those. I'm like, ugh, gross. Like and switching between them, I forget like, oh, and this one there's armor lock and there's this and there's that. Like I forget all that stuff that was in each of these versions of Halo, because five was the one I've played probably the most consistently. Uh, but I feel like just don't know. I as much as I was happy about it, like, and it felt good, and I love the feel of that pistol now that I've gotten used to it. Um, the BR shoots well.
Yeah.
Once
BR
once you
feels
learn how
good.
to shoot that VK gun, it's great.
Oh, I got a perfect on that gun. I was like, oh, that felt good.
It feels good. Like I have problems. Like I wasn't a training thing, so like I have problems when people are running across from me with it
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't actually have a lot of power if you're not shooting in the head. but it's very easy to aim. It's very easy to get shots off in the head because it didn't have like that recoil. It doesn't actually move. It'll shoot straight like every time. So it's kind of a very like if somebody's out in the distance headed towards you and they don't know you're there, you can get a quick kill with that gun.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
I mean I like the guns. I like the pistol. The assault rifle is actually not useless in this Halo.
The assault rifle
Like
is actually really good.
yeah, you can pop the shield real quick and then one pistol shot to the head and it's over. Like it's a really effective strategy. It's just assault rifle
I'm
and then
sure that they're
pistol.
gonna nerf that. Uh,
Probably.
I'm sure they're gonna nerf it, and I
Well, then they
think they're
have to
gonna.
nerf the plasma carbine or whatever it is.
Oh, they nerfed that shit. That shit is so like, cause
It,
you have to like track. You basically have to track your shot.
it's kind of like it follows you, but it's really slow.
It's so slow. So, but if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
hit your shots, like it will
It'll
melt
take
that
it'll
motherfucker.
take the
But like,
shield all the way down.
but it's definitely not like on
Right.
5 where you get close and you just melt that motherfucker. Like, no, this one is like you gotta track.
And
It's
they mix two guns. They mix the assault the plasma rifle and the Covenant carbine. Like the
yeah,
look of the Covenant carbine with the plasma rifle, but it's also like a pulse shot, like a
yeah,
burst shot, not a like a automatic.
yeah. That one was weird. That one is.
The
I need
most
to
useless
spend.
gun on the board.
Yeah, that's the one I had to like probably go to the academy with to get used to it a little bit more because it is it is powerful, but you just gotta like be able to use it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, I think I mean all the weapons felt great. The BR is I wonder if I was thinking like towards the end, I was like, hold up, there's no DMR. Do you think
No,
there's
the DK gun is I think
is
the
the
replacement.
DMR?
Yeah, because it has a very DMR like
Yeah,
quality. Like, at least like to me, it feels very much like the. Actually, it feels more like the Covenant carbine, except for not as powerful. Because
mm,
that Covenant carbine was the DMR on steroids. Like it was the DMR, but way faster.
yeah,
So it did about the
absolutely.
same amount of damage, but you could pulse it faster. So you were getting you know 2 or 3 shots to a DMR's one with that gun. So the VK gun kind of feels like that, but without the power. Like you
Yeah,
have to do a headshot to kill somebody with it, but it's so fast you can get like 3 shots to the head. If you can get like quick headshots, you'll finish somebody quick with it. So I think
definitely.
that's the DMR replacement because I think the DMR is kind of hit or miss with people. I think some people like it and some people don't use it at all.
Yeah.
And so I think they're probably playing around with like what will people use besides the battle rifle and the pistol.
Do y'all think so? This game is basically gonna be a live service type game. Is they're gonna keep updating it over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do you see a possibility of them releasing new weapons? So like maybe bringing back the DMR, bringing because they kind of did that in 5 with
H2.
the
Uh,
H2 and then the H1 pistol.
yeah,
Do y'all like see that in the future
I
possibly?
I definitely see that.
I
I don't
yeah.
I don't I don't think I don't think there's a question if that's going to be their strategy. The thing that I would hope, and I know is almost impossible, is that they somehow add Spartan abilities back, like they add
At least a
assassinations back.
mode. At least having a mode with it.
Yeah, like yeah, just one mode. Let me move freely, and then you people who want to play the regular Halo, let me go off into my own little dimension where like maybe 7 people are there. But yeah, I absolutely believe the guns are coming back. Like the other guns are going to be in there because I think doing that in 5 kind of like they realize okay this is a viable option for us and these are just assets in a like video these game assets or whatever you can create those independent of Halo you don't need to like you don't you don't need to like do a whole entirely new build to build a new weapon so
Yeah, yeah,
you just add the new asset in right and
definitely.
plug it in so
So
I hope that happens though soon. I mean, I know it's gonna happen eventually, but I hope it happens like within the first year of Halo uh, Infinite being.
would you all think of the Spartan power ups that you can pick up? So You can pick up the Invisi overshield. You even had basically a pop up shield that you could throw down. What else? The grapple hook, and there's something else.
Plasma reflector, but I don't think anybody ever got that.
Yeah, I never got a chance to use that. But what did you all think of like the equipment?
Like I didn't I didn't ever use. It's not user friendly. So I did the grappling a couple times. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I could do that. But like maybe I'm just not good enough to where I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna do this type of situation here, and it's gonna be a go to. It's definitely not a go to for me. So um, as far as the camo uh, and the overshield, half the time I don't pick it up when I thought I picked it up, and like I thought you'd just be able to walk over it and then you can activate it later. But you still kind of have to, I think, press a button to pick it up and
Yeah,
then press a different button to actually activate it. So
hold
I
X
was
to pick it
messing,
up, and then you press RB to activate it.
yeah, so I was messing that up all the time. I was never consistent with that. So that's going to be an adjustment for me. But um, and for the reflector stuff, I don't like I didn't use it, but I'm
What's
pretty sure I'll never remember to use it,
what's
even
the
if I
use
had it.
case? What's the use case for that?
When
Somebody's gonna use
the nuke
somebody.
combo,
Yeah, yeah. Who? How many people use the nuke combo? Like
that's
really?
true. Not a
Like
lot.
you're gonna run around with a plasma reflector waiting for the one person on the entire game who uses the plasma pistol, because to be 100% honest, the plasma pistol, it just sucks. Nobody likes using that gun. It's very weak. Yeah, it's good for eating up shield, but like it's very weak, and just reflecting, and that reflector, I've never used it, but I assume it's just one shot. Like I don't know, can you continually pull up your arm and reflect?
I think
Is it
so, but I
is
don't.
it fast? Can you spam it? Is it faster than the plasma shots?
No, I think what it probably boils down, because what it what happened with the grapple shot was that you basically got three of them. So I think it's kind of the same thing. They just do it based on number of uses. So there's
Right.
no, yeah.
So you're gonna have to run around the map, wait for somebody to use the plasma pistol on you or a plasma related weapon. I think the only way this makes any sense is plasma grenades. If you can throw back plasma grenades, then I guess it's useful. But even then, right? Like you're shooting, and then somebody throws a plasma at you. Are you gonna be quick enough to hit that RB button while you're in the middle of trying to track them and aim and shoot them?
Well, I
Like
mean, if you switch over to bumper jumper, I mean,
I
maybe.
I did switch over to bumper jumper. I hated it, and I switched back because I couldn't steer myself while I ran. Like while you
Oh, with
run,
the A, you
yeah.
just tap A and then you,
Oh, you toggle your
yeah,
running.
yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. I didn't even think that. I was just like immediately. I was like, how does he do this? I quit. I don't. And I went right back. I was on bumper jumper for half a game. No, for the first 5 minutes of a game until I realized I couldn't escape, and then I got off of bumper jumper. But that being said, it's still not intuitive, not intuitive, feasible. It's not the use case for that. That's the dumbest weapon that the dumbest power up they added. Like, first of all, the grappling hook to me is stupid too. Like, it's
It's so
uninteresting.
slow.
It's slow and it's uninteresting. Like,
Yeah,
it's not a cool to me. It's not a cool weapon to give to a super soldier that's hundreds of years
yeah.
in the
But it's not a
future.
weapon though either, right? Like you can't hurt anybody with it. I don't think.
Nah, you can only like stick to them, and then you
And then you
basically
can,
stick to them, and then you can melee them, but
yeah,
they don't feel anything on their end.
yeah. It doesn't. It's like you're hundreds of years in the future, and you're new upgrade to your armor is something that was in like the first Batman movie in like 1989. Like, like you went from being Superman to Batman. And as much as I hate Superman and as much as I love Batman, I would never trade places if I was Superman. I'd never be like, yeah, I'll be Batman. The grappling hooks and the mortality over being able to fly and land on people and just crush my enemies. Like some of those things are uninspired. Who cares about a grappling hook? Who does? Like I don't think I'm ever gonna pick that up other than just to make sure somebody else doesn't have it. Right? Like, oh, I don't want Creston with this because he killed me 3 times with it. So now I'm gonna just pick up the grappling hook and run around with it. Like it's not an
Yeah.
it's not an
It's
interesting
not that,
power up.
yeah, it's not that cool. It's just it's slow. Um the movement doesn't even really match the game itself. Like it's not like if you had a grapple hook in 5, that would make a lot more sense cuz you can like do a lot with that.
Mm-hmm.
But with this it's just you're just like a floating tank. Like it's just weird. I felt dumb
Spinning
just flying. I was just like I'm just it's just a it I don't know. I
even
don't get that.
even the combos I see people do aren't like, oh, that was an awesome. I can't believe he pulled that off. Like
Yeah.
unless I saw that Mint Blitz dude, I told you I saw him launch a person, like somebody on his team. They got on a ramp. He grappled them while they launched, and then it kind of catapulted him like really high into the air. So like, and then he was like above the entire arena, and he could like shoot people from a distance, like with the rocket or whatever. That's cool and all, but that's a trick shot, right? Like, there's a reason and one basketball players could not play in the league. Like you all that hot sauce and whatever and professor dribbling. That doesn't work in the league, and that's the same thing with like playing it like a competitive match. You're not gonna be able to pull off all those tricks
Yeah.
in a competitive match unless you're just really really good. There's very few people that are that good, so I just don't understand the use for that or the reflector. I mean, the Invisi and the Overshield are crowd favorites
Throwbacks.
and proven to
Yeah.
work, but the grappling hook and the I don't even I want to be in the meeting where somebody said this is better than Spartan abilities or
Yeah.
this will make up for Spartan abilities.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I remember that first gameplay segment. I was like, "Oh, the grapple hook is slow."
right. I remember you saying that, and I remember you saying I hope it's not that slow in actual
Yeah,
gameplay, like when we do the beta, and it
it
absolutely is. It's
is.
just as slow because the truth is, if it was fast, only a few people would be able to use it anyway.
Yeah,
Like
that's
there's very
true.
few people with that kind of reaction time to begin with. So it'd be like 2 people running around getting all the grapple medals because the rest of us would just abandon it and play Halo regularly. It
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it. The power ups in that sense, Invisi and Overshield don't count. They're
Yeah,
always
those are staples.
yeah. You didn't do anything special there. You just put them in there. And you just gave us triggering. You just gave us the ability to trigger the effect. Delayed triggering of the effect instead of having to just like eventually get it and then try to kill as many people as you
And
can
they're a
before it runs
lot
out.
shorter too. They cut the time span on those things by a lot,
Yeah,
especially
Yeah.
because Invisi was just so powerful in 5.
Yeah.
Like you were
That was a
really,
legit
really hard to
like
see.
that was a legit concern. It was like, "Oh shit, somebody got a Vizzy." You start getting paranoid, like, "Oh shit." You be looking on the screen just for any like little ripple or like weird
yeah.
distortion.
Is that my screen? Like, is my TV refresh rate low, or is that somebody getting ready to knife me? Like, I don't understand. Like,
That shit is scary. That's like some true like predator shit. Like,
Yes.
absolutely. Which is what we should inspire to be like the Predator, like as many of the sci-fi super soldiers that we've seen on TV,
yep.
but instead we're I don't know, like the working man's super
Like
soldier.
RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop. I liked RoboCop when I was a kid, but once I got old enough to like actually see how he moved, I was like, I can't believe I ever liked this movie. Like
It's
now
just
you watch it for fun, like because
yeah,
to
it's
laugh at
campy.
it.
Yeah, it's campy. It's hilarious. I just love that era of film. Like it's just ridiculous. I love
But
that shit.
but RoboCop and Terminator. If you look at Terminator and you look
Yeah,
at
Terminator
RoboCop,
slow.
But at least Terminator had like RoboCop looks lame, and that's what I feel like. Like you said, they're turning Master Chief into RoboCop. It should be trying to become like a Gundam or something. It should be trying to
Yeah.
go the other way, like Evangelion or something, like a very fluid machine, not more like
I mean, cause like you said, like in all of the cutscenes, this motherfucker is doing some awesome shit. He's doing some acrobatic agility, agility, strength, dexterity. Like this motherfucker's a super soldier. So it's like you look at him and then you see exactly how the game plays. It's kind of like uh with like RPGs and stuff.
Final
Or
Fantasy VII.
yeah, you start
Awesome
looking.
cutscenes, and then you're like little
Yeah,
block people when you're walking around.
exactly. That's honestly, dog. I think as even as a kid, I was very turned off by that like false advertising because like
Yes.
they showed like the most awesome shit, like these commercials, like these creatures, they look so cool. This dude, this big ass sword, it's like, oh shit, you about to fuck some shit up. And then you look at the game, you're like, what? Like what? Like what is going on? Like, and I think ever since then, like I've never got over that. And like they're starting to get better now, like with the remake and all that stuff. But still, like it's still like
That
that.
game might be responsible for, the requirements now of certain amount of in-game footage. Because I remember seeing that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, technology is crazy now." And then I go to my friend's house and I saw it on PlayStation. I'm like, "What the heck is this?" Like that's not what I saw on television, but
Worse than Mario 64.
way worse. It
Yo,
was way
it
worse.
was
I was
bad.
like,
I was like, this. I never. And then on top of that, like the combat was like you had to click a button, and then you jump back. I'm just like,
Well, that's just RPGs,
I know, and
but
I never liked that shit. People think I'm so fucking like crazy
you
when I say
you
that.
you play an RPG. I think that you play an RPG when you're trying to like. It's pretty much a turn your brain off kind of thing. Like for me anyway, when I play an RPG,
I
I'm
think,
just like, it's an
I feel like
interactive
I have to think
story.
too much for that
It's an
stuff.
interactive story for me. I'm just like
yeah,
following along. Like I'm like do, and then something else happens, and then what happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. That's how RPGs are for me. Like
yeah,
I'm just following them along because I like the characters or whatever.
yeah. But
But
yeah. I
That
mean,
makes me
that's
think more, not less. So that's like not
yeah. Remember,
fair
like
for
that
me.
was like a thing where people that was kind of like an insult amongst gamers. Is like, oh, this is a smart gamers game. And it's and as I got older, I was like, yeah, I don't want to play anything where I have to think. Like I'm this is entertainment. Like I want to fucking like I think all day. I don't want to fucking think anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like come on now. Like I don't need to prove how intellectual I am by playing a game that is that
this is
makes you
not a
read.
It's not a Sudoku puzzle. This is a video game. Let me.
Yeah. Like come on now. Like get over yourself. Like that's another like gamer, you know, crazy shit that gamers always is weird. But anyway, um, long story short, I think we all agree that Halo 5's movement was definitely the pinnacle of being a super soldier and all the things that you could do. And we collectively, we know we like what we've played so far with Infinite. Is Halo is fun, but in terms of movement and all of that, I think we all agree that it's basically regressed, right?
Yeah, we're less cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're less cool.
So, I guess like to wrap up, we got to play the bots, which also, yeah, the bots were really competent. I mean, the first day bots were just cannon fodder, but they put up a good fight. They'll get you every now and then. And then they released the ODST version, which was
Those guys,
more,
they were mean.
yeah,
Those
they
jokers
were
came
good
in
at
too.
they were good at grenades.
Grenade.
Oh
Yo.
my
Yeah,
gosh, I
They
hate it.
just they softened you up and then one shotted you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I got the opposite. They would shoot at me a lot, and we'd be in like a shootout, and then they just toss a grenade and run. That's the thing that got me about them.
I was
They
like, you
exited
must.
afterwards. I was like, this isn't even. You're supposed to be like the Terminator. You're supposed to come at me. But they would run. Like
Yep.
you'd be chasing them, and then they throw a grenade and then just leave. And you're like, I was so pissed. But they would come in groups. When they came in groups, you died
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
Oh
That
yeah.
that
You died
first that first map, it was always a guarantee that they would always come to that
all four of
that
them.
left
Just
side. You just throw a
yes.
grenade and you just go fucking ham.
Yeah. They would come in groups, and if you were the only person over there, you just be like,
Yeah, yeah,
no.
yeah. You can't get caught. Yeah, if you get caught, even on the first day bots, like if you get caught with multiple bots in the area, like they will take you out. Like it was no joke.
That's the one thing you'll never have to worry about with people, because everybody's like trying
Everybody's
to
looking at their own.
yeah, they're trying to get the kill their own way and whatever. There's no
Yeah,
teamwork. They don't. Nobody
the
wants to.
bots did display how teamwork is
Should
important
be right,
in
right, right. Like
Halo.
in Halo, they were very team oriented. Like they're like, hey man, we trying to all get out of this thing alive.
Absolutely.
I would literally in the game, like the matchmaking, like I would literally shoot people in the back of the head. Luckily, friendly fire wasn't on, because
Oh
they would
yeah,
just
yep,
run in front of you
yep.
like to kill the bot. Like I was like, this is a little garbage. Like they because you've been sitting there shooting it the whole time, and then they just run in front of you because they're
And
gonna
pop up.
melee it.
Yep,
Yeah, because obviously you've done all the work and it's easy kills, so they would just be racking up kills against the bots.
yep.
And I was like, okay, this also is something I don't like. Like people need to be able to die from getting shot in the back of the head by their own teammate, so that they learn not to run in front of my bullets.
Definitely.
I think they'll turn that back on.
They absolutely need to, because some people deserve it.
What friendly fire or bots?
Friendly fire. I think they'll turn that back on.
Yeah, I think so I got a chance to play a little bit of PvP.
Mhm.
Um and I think there was friendly fire on that. I'm not completely sure. Cuz I didn't really test it, but from what I remember, I think so. But
You
um
didn't test it, Kristen.
you said what?
You didn't test it.
I
Nah,
mean,
not this
it
time.
wasn't
I
tested
didn't
on
have
him, is what he
I,
meant to say.
Carl wasn't there is the problem.
yeah,
Carl didn't play with you.
y'all weren't there, so you know.
Carl would have got murdered.
Absolutely.
But nah, PvP was pretty cool. I wanted to see like how people would, kind of use the new or lack of movement. And it really kind of played like Reach, to be honest. It felt like, people were more grounded. It wasn't a lot of, I didn't really like that. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't really like Bazaar. It wasn't like the Bazaar from Halo
Hey,
2. It was weirdly like a map in the latest Modern Warfare, 2019 Modern Warfare. I forget the name of it. I gotta look it up, but it was just like that map, and I was like, it's kind of weird. And then the first map, the first map is still my favorite out of the three, but the second one, the one I don't remember the name of it. Within in that little warehouse.
mm-hmm.
Um, that one was cool. I guess I didn't have enough time to get used to it like I did with the first one. But what did you all think of like the second one, the second map?
I didn't get to play the second one. I
The
played Bazaar and I played the first
Mm,
like the second one was just good because it was a change of pace because I played so much of the first one.
yeah,
But after playing the second one for a while, I'm like, yeah, I agree with you. I preferred the first one.
yeah.
I get
'Cause
to
it
play
it
Bizarre.
was dark. It was it
Yeah, I'm
was
not into the dark stuff. I want more illumination.
yeah.
Hey,
It was very
you
dark.
gotta turn on the headlights. You turn on your headlamp.
Stop it.
Hey man, that's a button. That's a button. I looked at the
That's
controller menu. That's a real button. You gotta turn the headlamp on.
that's probably
I'm
for the
surprised he still has that feature.
that's
Hey
probably
man,
from I think that's that's definitely gonna be used a lot in single player.
He didn't need the headlamp in 5 because he probably had night vision.
Night vision, exactly.
He said, since we're going all the way back, you need a headlamp now.
It's so fucking weird. But but yes, and then so AJ, what'd you think of Bazaar?
That was not my favorite map, uh, just because of how much I got murdered by myself. Like I could never like team up. I was never in the same place as my teammates. Like when they were on the roofs across from that middle section, I was on the ground on the other side of the one of those doors, and I'd like walk through, and then I would just get once
lit
again
up.
set it. I would get set it off right in the middle of the like as soon as I walk through the door, because those bots, like I said, they don't play when it's 2 or 3 on one. There's nothing you can do about it,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I always felt like I was separated from everybody, but I mean that could have just been gameplay and the people I was playing with, which weren't great. We almost lost to the bots, which shows how terrible we were as a unit. Um,
But those, I think at that time you were playing the Spartan bots, cause them giants, they were, man, those. That's when my like KD was like starting to really shrink. I was like, oh shit, like I'm fucking like barely getting positive and shit. Like they were fucking the Spartan bots were no joke. Like I that was some sweaty stuff right there.
Yeah, they tried it out on you guys.
I think
Like,
I think I was getting effed up by ODST bots, to be honest.
yes, me too.
I think I was getting demolished by I don't remember because I stopped paying attention to that because once I realized I was just gonna be fighting bots again. I don't really care what kind of bots they are. I just want to shoot stuff. So I was in there, but and I know I got effed up in that bazaar. Like my team was garbage, and I was getting murdered all alone in back streets of wherever whatever city that was.
Yeah,
So,
and I think people only the thing with Bazaar, I think people are gonna play that thing lame because anything with you have like a big open space, um, and you have basically like towers
yeah,
on both sides.
everybody snipes from the
Everybody's just
top.
gonna be sniping. You're gonna So it's I don't think people are gonna play
Duck
that
and cover
level.
situation.
Yeah, I don't. I already can see that map is gonna be annoying and people in the way that people are gonna play it. So I like
It
that
was
the
annoying how people played it in Halo too, because that's what happened. Like people would just get the sniper, stay in the corner, because that corner you have complete visibility down that one road corridor. You have visibility on the other side.
hmm
So whether people are coming out that little garage area or down the ramp, or people are coming from the far end, like you could control that entire section by just having a sniper in the corner. And then your teammates could just handle like the other backside of the map.
And sweep the streets.
So like if you're a good sniper, you could really like crush people, just pick them off. So
yeah. Yeah, I can see that one's gonna be. It's. I'm not looking forward to playing people. I like I said, I think the first map really did encourage like those tight and medium range combat. That's what I typically like in Halo. I don't really like I don't like playing a long game in Halo. It's boring. I want to be up and close, medium, being able to
yes,
you know I don't like the like in uh what is it 5 one of those maps that I fucking hate. uh I forget, but yeah, so I think overall, I mean, the maps are cool. I want to play around a little bit more with the grapple because I'm sure that there's more to it. It on surface level, it's
You
not
might
that
be
impressive.
MCC in that grapple hook, man.
It's
You might just be loving it, even though it's not loving you.
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
by the way, I think Halo 5 um is the Halo I've played the longest, right?
Yeah,
So I got
me too.
Combat Evolved, I played it when it just came out, but I didn't own an Xbox back then. I was just playing on somebody else's. So when I really played it, it was '02. Then Halo 2 came out in '05. So that's only like 3 years, which seemed like an eternity back then.
I know,
And
right?
then Halo 3 came out, I think, in '07. I want to say. Yeah, I think it was '07. Um, so that's only 2 years. And then Reach came out, I want to say '09. So that's another 2 years.
Five was, I mean,
Um,
4 was in 11 or something like that. I think it
Yeah,
was
it
because
was
we were
four.
playing
11
that
or
in school.
12.
Yeah, 11 or 12. But we were playing it in school.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't play that one long at all.
yeah. Four was probably like the least played one for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, because I think I
Uh,
end up going back to ODST or three. But then you got five, and we rode out for 6 years on
6 years.
five.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's nuts. So yeah,
yeah,
like we played that the most by far out of any Halo.
yep.
5 is the best Halo, guys. You heard it here first. Blerdimension. 5 is the best Halo. And
Mm,
the other Halos are all old and crusty. If you like them, you can fight Creston.
But like we'll see if we'll see what the evolution is for Infinity, because pretty much pretty much since Master Chief Collection, all the games have evolved, right? So
yeah,
Yeah,
um
but you can't evolve outside of your framework. So, like, what's gonna change? Right? Better
I
guns?
mean
Okay.
because of the nature of Master Chief Collection, they could they
Like,
evolved completely out of what they started with.
yeah, but the gameplay didn't change. They just made the game better, and the issues with the game were reliability issues, really. Like, I mean, they did do add a lot of cool modes and stuff like that, but the gameplay did not change, right? So, no matter what they do with Infinite, it's going to be the same thing, different maps, pretty much. Same thing, different maps. Same thing, different weapon sets. If they even add different weapon sets, who knows? Like, it's gonna be the same. Like, that's the one thing I think I feel bad about Infinite Force. Like, it's gonna get real old real quick. In the same way Halo 5 kind of did too, where like it's like, oh, this map again, oh, this gun set, this gun again, oh, whatever, whatever.
But
Like,
that's
it's
nah, they,
self-inflicted on five though. Like they have and okay, so I'm not blown away by any of the maps in five for the most part, but they have more maps, but yet on matchmaking you'll get stuck in like three of them over and
mm-hmm.
over and over again, which
hmm
doesn't make any sense.
especially on that quick slayer. Don't get me started on that.
I can't even play it because they want to mess around and put objectives. I can't deal with that. It's Slayer or SWAT. That's the only thing I could play on there.
Yeah.
Everything else is booty.
But yeah, no, I think you're definitely right about that. Like they need to, like, they need to have a quick, cuz a lot of people's attention span these days, especially like the newer folks that are going to be coming into Halo now. I mean, they're coming from these like vibrant like Warzone. I mean, every fucking day there's an update for that. Fortnite, every day is an update. It's like it's they never let those games get stale.
Mm-mm.
Um,
You can play as
so
LeBron James in Fortnite.
you said what?
You can be LeBron James in Fortnite now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then you can be you see today you can be Cammy and Gal in Fortnite now.
I did not see that.
Gal looks terrible. I gotta post it. But but so this it's like a different world. So there's a different momentum like they have to keep up with. And so it's gonna be interesting to see how they can, like, they have to have like those that roadmap to be like, all right, first first 2 months, this is that. We're gonna roll out, a new map. We're gonna do this. So, like they have to keep that cadence because especially if it's free to play because they have to pump in as many new cosmetic items that to be sold and all sorts of like these little knickknacks that they have to provide for people to for them to make money off of this shit. So they have to work really overtime and like
They have
make
enough
sure.
developers though, right? Like I thought, from what I heard, they like 343 has something like a couple hundred developers there.
I think they have enough. They definitely have enough manpower, and even though I think it probably like it'll shift. Like there's you have people that are um you know more on the development side now. I think that they'll shift more to folks that are you probably have more artists because they're making like the new
Hmm.
cosmetics and things. And you'll of course you'll always keep a team of developers, but you probably won't keep like an engine dev or anything like that. Like all of that stuff.
They got to work on the next game.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure that there's gonna be like a whole like shift in personnel as time goes on because that's just part of the whole game now. Is like you have to feed this live service monster. So um, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how everything goes. But I just like I said, I really hope that the next flight is more open so we can get everybody from the Blerdimension crew to come on. I know that they feel left out, and I know that they're a bit salty. Trust me, I understand. I would have been there. I would have been right there with you all. I probably would have been the biggest, saltiest person on the
Hey, but
planet.
you would have deserved to be that way. With all the work you put in on Master Chief Collection, all of us bailed out on that quick and early.
Absolutely. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't have to deal with this. I'm going back to Halo 4.
So, like,
Yeah. I definitely sacrificed myself on that shit. Um, but yeah. So what do you think like the next flight is going to focus on? Is it going to be like big team stuff? Is it going to be
I
um
hope not. Unless
the
they have a
objectives?
Slayer only big team, like a
oh,
one player.
objective definitely. Capture the flag is gonna be in that next flight. I guarantee it. Capture the
Well, I
flag is
mean,
gonna
look, I've been playing Halo 5 for 6 years. Ain't nothing. I can keep it going.
to go back.
I can
Capture the
keep it
flag is
going.
gonna be in that next flight. Definitely.
Like if
Absolutely.
they don't want me, they could just tell
Just send you an email, Carl. You won't get it for several days, but they'll send you one. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, check your spam. It might be there.
it might be there now.
This is probably like this whole experience. This is the most I've checked that email in a long time. So I was like, okay,
Absolutely.
it gave me an opportunity to clean out some stuff. So that's like the one like positive out of this is that I'm able to look at like just the years and years of junk that just piled up and but yeah, no, they need to they really need to
They updated the
get that.
website, right? So hopefully it's even more modular than it was before.
I'm
Um,
checking it out now. It's they're saying that there's a new version, but when I click on the link, it says access denied. So I guess guess they're still working on it. But so yeah. So all in all, like I guess final impressions: Halo Infinite, encouraged.
I will be playing Halo Infinite, and that is my recommendation. Not my recommendation, but that's like my score for review. It's like I'll be playing it. I'm not. It it.
It, it
I
didn't
do
blow
feel
you
like something's
away.
missing. Right. I feel like some stuff's missing. Like I'm. All the people who are like Halo's back, Halo's back, Halo's back are upsetting me. Like the more I see that, like in my YouTube and Twitter feed and stuff like that, and like my subscriptions are everybody's like Halo's back. I'm like it's always been here. It's really like it's less fun than 5 to me. So when I see people saying, I'm like, this world isn't for me. This Halo, like Carl said, if Halo doesn't want me, they should send me a letter and said, look, Halo 5 is not who we are anymore. We're going back. You don't even come to Infinite. But I think I'm going to play it. I mean, we're all going to play it, right? It
Yeah.
looks way better, like in terms of, and that's expected. 5 was kind of colorful and almost like unrealistic, the way the armor looked. Like everything kind of
That
looked
was
like,
my biggest complaint with 5 was the visuals.
it looked like you were wearing like you know how like the stormtroopers wear like that glossy, like weak looking armor. It
Yeah.
looked like
It was
stormtroopers.
cheap. Yeah, it was cheap
Yeah,
looking.
like plastoid. That's what they call it. I think. Like it's like it doesn't even sound strong, right? It sounds flimsy. It's plastoid, right? That's what the Halo 5 armors look like. Like at least these Infinite armors look like, oh yeah, that thing could take some shots, and you know. But
Mm.
yeah, I definitely think that it's gonna be in the blurred rotation. Hopefully, I'll just get used to how slow it is, right? Like we played enough, I'll forget how much fun I had in 5 and Spark Charging. We're just gonna have to play Infinite for the first, like when it comes out, without touching 5. Like we can't go back to 5 right after it. We have to get so used to Infinite that when we go back to 5, we're like, oh yeah, we did like to do this, didn't we? Like
Yeah, that's
the
that's
first
gonna be
match will be
interesting.
the first match will be all Spartan charges when we go at 5, because everybody will be so happy to have it back. It'll just be Spartan charge, Spartan charge, Spartan charge. Nobody will shoot a single bullet in the first 10 minutes. But
Definitely.
yeah, I'm in on it.
Cool. Same with you, Carl.
Agreed.
You're in. Your soul will be there, but we're a little salty that they took some stuff away from us. But
Absolutely.
yeah.
I'll definitely be there. Um, it's 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 gonna be better than 4. So I played 4.
It's gonna be better than the worst Halo.
Yeah, that's
Glowing
definitely
recommendation.
the. Look, man, like I'm reaching for my thrust all the time, and it's just
Oh
not
my
there.
gosh, I overextend all the time out there. Just ah!
Yeah. So that's the that's the issue. Um, but maybe I'll overcome that. I don't know. And getting used to the weapons will be something as well. But but yeah,
The Academy's
I did
for.
have fun. There's no question about it. I
Yeah,
had
that
fun.
is true. At the very least, it was fun. It felt good.
Mhm.
Um, the weapons I think were the star. They felt very meaty and
Except for that
um,
impaler. That thing
oof. That thing is.
hard to hit
But
people
it's
one hit kill.
yeah, like it makes sense like how fucked up it is because it is a brute weapon. I keep forgetting that. Oh yeah, brutes are gonna be back in this one,
Yeah, but
which are
who's buying the campaign? I'm not. I'm not.
well. It'll
Absolutely
be on
not.
Game Pass.
Yeah. Even then,
But
I don't know if I'm
I'm
gonna
not
download
putting
it.
room on that on
That's what
my
I'm saying. Like
Xbox.
I don't have the space to play both the multiplayer and the campaign.
Nah,
What's what the
I'm a
heck is
dive back
Firefight
into it.
Raven? What's Halo Firefight Haven Raven? What's that?
It sounds like one of those like
Like
what you
a
call it games.
like a
So I
a
went to the
mobile.
new Halo Waypoint right now, and I you click on games. There's Halo Infinite, Halo the Master Chief Collection, Halo 5 Guardians, and then there's Halo Fire Team Raven.
I think that's probably one of those games where you controlling like what are those games called? Where you're kind of commanding like little pieces,
Oh,
the
real time
strategy game.
strategy.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's one of those.
Mm.
But they both redirect to Halo Infinite, which is annoying.
Hmm. Somebody hasn't
Yeah, that
updated
this
those
website is
links.
not ready.
Yeah.
Website's not ready.
Okay. So all in all, good job 343. I think at the very least you got people that weren't interested in Halo, or your last, installments of Halo. I think a lot of people are back on board and sold for Infinite, so that's a good thing. So I think Halo's gonna be popular again, which is good. Um, but all in all, I think we all had fun. Like I said, we hope that the whole selection process for the next flight is a little more straightforward and that they add more people, especially the rest of the Blerdimension crew.
Just the rest of the Blerdimension crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we could, put in a good word, with our status, and be like, hey man, let them in.
See, I don't know if I want to stake my reputation on those guys. Because I got in here. Now, if I
Now
say,
these
hey, these
motherfuckers
guys
start
are
acting
cool.
up,
Yeah,
they're gonna be like,
up.
who's
Who
people?
you guys with? Yeah,
Yeah.
whose day passes do you have? They gonna look at me. I'm like, I barely know these guys. Friends of friends.
Yep. But
Disrespectful.
but yeah, thank you all for joining us for our impressions of the Halo Infinite flight. Again, my name is Not Cirque, and again we have AJ Naslinja, and we have Carl KBH.
Yeah.
We'll also film once the next flight comes out. We'll also do another video talking about that flight and talk about the improvements that they've made, some of the items that they focused on. So definitely stay tuned to that. Make sure you follow Blerdimension on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, all of that good stuff. So we'll catch you all next time. In the meantime, play Halo 5. Play Halo 5.
Absolutely.
And also
It's
play
fun.
MCC too. I'm going to throw that in there.
So let's focus on Halo 5 though.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.